right, Mamudimu, welcome to the 6th episode of season 2 of Confessions of a Consecrated Cutie. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah. If you don't know who I am, I'm one and only Rory, a digital content creator. You can check me out on all the platforms because I think I am amazing. Okay, and this podcast is basically a story of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I suggest you start with episode 1, so you can get to know me better because this is basically a continuation. I refer a lot to previous episode, but if you like me, and you can start an episode or a series in the middle and continue, welcome. Okay, so last week I spoke about the cost of guarding your heart, and I also touched a little bit on the type of friendships that I want. Now, if you guys know me, I am a girl's girl. Okay, I'm a girl's girl. I'm sure I have guy friendships in them, but I'm a girl's girl. Like, I love the girlies. I just feel like the girlies just get it. Like, the girlies just get it, right? And now, something that I personally appreciate a lot in friendships is vulnerability. It's support. It's accountability. I hate to say it, but I love when friends can keep me accountable. I love friends that speak into my life, all those things. And for me to get those type of friendships in my life, I had to sit down with myself and have a very serious conversation with myself about the type of person I am, the type of person I want to be, and the type of friendships I want. And to see, do those people who I currently am versus the type of person I have to be to get into the friendships that I want to be, do they align? And I'm not going to lie, it was a hard conversation to have because nobody likes being told that they're wrong, right? But nobody especially likes to be told that they're wrong by themselves. Like, when you have to sit down with yourself and discuss your rebrand. I tried to rebrand into being a mysterious girl. That failed. But one rebrand that I think I'm slowly working towards succeeding in is being good or being better at friendships. You get. So, one thing that I appreciate in friendships, let's say, is the ability to fully be yourself. I think friendships that I appreciate the most is friendships where you can be yourself, every single aspect of yourself. That's why I think I don't really vibe with that whole idea of these are my church friends, these are my school friends, these are my club friends. For me, I want friends who are my friends I can do stuff with. I understand if, like, okay, the one friend isn't really a hiker, so they don't want to hike, but I can share my interests of hiking with them. Maybe they'll try it. They're not gonna hike with me every week, but I'll hike with you one time. Like, I don't like the whole segmentation of, like, yeah, this friend I can talk to about sex. Yeah, this one I can talk to about Jesus. Yeah, this one I can talk to when I'm crushing on someone. But this one I can't really talk to. This one I can tell when I'm crushing on someone, but I can't really share aspects of my relationship with Jesus with them. This one I can share my relationship with Jesus with them, but I can't really touch on the fact that, oh my God, like, I may have kissed a boy this day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want friendships that are open and free. And I can be myself and loved and accepted as I am. Even in the past where I'm being, held accountable and like, okay, this is the type of person you said you want to be. And the behavior that you exhibited was not pertaining to that. Yeah, jargon. You know what I mean? That is what I love and that is what I appreciate, right? And the first thing that I had to deal with that is, in order for people to accept who you are, they need to see who you are, right? And in the last episode, I touched on the fact that my method of guarding my heart was just not letting people in at all. Right? So I had to sit back and be like, okay, girl, let's have a real conversation. Come on. Come on, girl. Get it together. Get it together, girl. That's not who you are, right? I had to have a conversation with myself. And then I started showing people, who I am. And like, I was so surprised when I was compiling my birthday celebration list and the number of people that I had on. I was like, okay, like, ever since I made the intentional decision to, I first thing that I did, I decided the type of friendships that I want to have. Then I was like, okay, who do I need to be to facilitate a space for those friendships to form? I need to be honest. I need to communicate my expectations, and I need to allow people to get to know me. I need to allow people to see past a certain point. Like, let's say, for example, you have quote unquote church friends, right? Then you start sharing with them, oh my God, I'm kind of crushing on this guy, whatever, whatever. Oh, I'm talking to this person, whatever, whatever, whatever. And you sort of gauge, right? What gauge is this judgmental Christian or accountable mara hang judge. You gauge, you just give a little, you give a little tints, right? As they would say in America, you give a little tints, just that's a tiny bit of, well, understand. You don't tell the whole story. You first start with a tints of the story, like a taste of the story. And then based off of that reaction, you can decide, oh, okay, this is the type of person I can allow to be my friend. Otherwise, they can be an acquaintance because I cannot be myself around them. So you continue to show people who you are until you get that point where you're like, okay, whatever. So I started realizing, okay, if I want open and honest communications, and if I want circles where I can fully be who I am, then I have to be fully who I am in those circles to see if those circles I'm welcomed. If not, I go and find the circles where I'm welcomed. In the same way, a lot of people are always complaining, my type of content, I never find the type of content that I like on YouTube. Or, my audience hasn't found me, whatever. Just keep doing you and keep being yourself. Don't try. Now, if you're saying your type of audience doesn't exist, now, and I'm like, but I see I see her. No, Taba Ola. Oh, excuse me. Taba Olale. Open and honest friendship, see? So I'm going to be like Tabo. No, baby. Then they fake. That's not who you are. It's like if I stop making this content. Jigga, I've never touched a brush of makeup in my life. Well, I have, but it was never good. And I was never interested in it. So now it's like, now all of a sudden, I'm giving you guys makeup tutorials. Baby! Baby! No, baby. No, right? So it's just one of those things where I have to be like, you know what? I have to just, be who I am. And also, I finally, after 4 years, have a description for my YouTube channel. I haven't changed it yet, because I haven't changed it yet because this comes with like a lot, like it's very, I finally know what I'm doing, I finally know what I'm doing after 4 years. And in order to get there, I had to keep trying, right? I had to keep trying. So you have to keep trying in friendship. If I wanted to build friendships, I had to keep trying with different people until I found, my quote unquote tribe, the people that are going to be hopefully raising my children, because I am tired of short-term relationships. Like, I want long-term relationships. And another thing that comes with long-term relationships is you will be wrong at a point, right? Now, I don't want to ever be those people of sometimes in the moment, and sometimes this has happened to me. Like, sometimes in the moment, you can think that, you know what, I am in the right, or I didn't do anything wrong here, or whatever. Sometimes in the moment you can think that, but I was like, if I want to be the type of parent, person, whoever that I want to be, I need to be able to hold myself accountable and see the areas where I went wrong and see how that affected different people and adapt and change, and from there be a better person, right? Simple as that. So I had to start going back and holding myself accountable. Like, if I am wrong, I go back to the person that I wronged. I don't care, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, whatever. And I say, I'm sorry. The reason why our friendship is here where it is today, like maybe it's not in a good place or whatever, is because this is the role that I played. I would like to apologize for that role. I know better now. At that time, I didn't know better, but I do know better now, and I want to do better. Right? I want to be the type of person to be able to do that, and that is something that I'm very proud of myself that I am starting to do. Like I'm starting to be a person who I don't want to be controlled by pride. And there's somebody who was talking about like on Twitter, they tweeted and they said, they hate people who can't be accountable because it's like you'll be embarrassed in that moment, but just be accountable for your actions. And I don't think that being accountable for your actions is embarrassing. First of all, it just shows, it shows, number one, if you're accountable for your actions to somebody you care about, it shows that you care, that what you did hurt their feelings. The first thing. The second thing, I think it shows a level of emotional maturity that you have the ability to be able to see where you're wrong, and you're not going to let pride, that's basically what it is. You're not going to let pride get in the way of the relationship that you're trying to build with someone when you know you're wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with admitting, listen, dude, like, I saw that I was wrong in this area, and I apologize for that. There's nothing even embarrassing about that. Like, it's literally a conversation, and you move on, and it's a means to moving on, where instead of like, you know what, I'd rather let this relationship die because of my pride, because there's no way I'm gonna go to this person and be like, I was wrong. You're gonna let a whole friendship die, or a whole relationship or whatever die because of pride? That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, right? So in as much as like friendships are great and they're amazing, I love friendships, right? Friendships are wholesome. Friendships is where you go for comfort. Friendships is, the place where you feel loved, seen, cared for, nurtured sometimes. It's challenging, and I think the reason why sometimes some friendships fail is because of the lack of intentionality, the lack of, you can't be losing. You've lost now. I had to also sit down with myself, because if you guys know, like, I lost a lot of friends in one go. Like, I lost a lot of friends. You can't be losing all the friends in the world, and every time it's someone else. Like, every single story, it's someone else. Being a good friend is challenging to yourself, because sometimes it challenges you as a person and the way you act sometimes as a person. You're not gonna kill friendships. You just kidding it. You're just the best friend. You're the best friendy. You never do anything wrong. You're the perfect friend in one go. No, like, that doesn't happen. But I think being able to get to a point where friendships are long lasting and friendships are genuine and real and true involves transparency, and it involves you being honest with yourself and being like, you know what, okay, I was wrong here, and I'm sorry that I did this. I didn't realize, what I was doing at the time. And now, and yes, you can be a better person in a week. Not in a week. Like, you can be a better person. Like, you can go think about it and be like, a week later, it can finally hit you. You know what? I was actually wrong. Don't now sit in, I was actually wrong, and just, try and like, just move past it like nothing. No, acknowledge it and move forward. I feel like, yeah. Like, now I'm about to have like a complete honesty hour of an aspect that I absolutely struggled with in friendships, that hit me like a ton of bricks while I was busy watching this podcast, and I almost cried, because I was like, in some relationships and friendships, I was not this person, right? So B. Simone and Megan, the No For Sure podcast, they were basically talking about just sometimes in friendships, you have to put away your feelings or whatever to be there for the friend. So basically this episode is where they were talking about how B. Simone's abortion affected Megan. So B Simone never even knew that this is how it affected Megan. But Megan spoke about it, and it's like 3 years later, if I'm not mistaken. So they were just speaking about it, and Megan was just talking about, how she was having an internal battle or whatever, and how in that moment it was very hard for her to be there for her friend. But she had to be there for her friend. And I think that's something that's like, sometimes you're not going to agree with the decisions that your friends make. That's just part of life. We are different people. God, created us all differently. We all think differently. We all view life differently, and honestly, I just think the world would be boring if we were all the same. Let's be honest, right? So that's also what makes friendships great. Sometimes an outgoing person, will push a person who stays outdoor to go outside sometimes, right? And that's great, and they'll enjoy going outside sometimes, and vice versa. They'll enjoy staying in sometimes. Like, oh, okay, we can do this and have fun and not be outside. Oh my god, that's great. Obviously it's gonna be great, but sometimes you're just not gonna agree on certain decisions. And I'm the type of person. Well, I am working away. I'm growing away from being that type of person who, if you don't take my advice, I'm just like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, how can you not take my advice? Because that's the best advice that I've ever given anyone in the world. Like, hello, like, why aren't you making the decisions that I would make? Like, hello, Ngue Orongo, Gu acrimony, because why are you not making the decisions that I would make? Right? Anyways, I digress. Obviously, I said a lot. So I had to, like, after that conversation really made me realize that, girl, you need to do better in that department. You need to allow, in the same way you saying you want friendships, that allow you to be free and open in yourself, you need to also allow people that same freedom around you to be open, to be themselves. You can still hold people accountable, but at the end of the day, whatever decision your friend decides to make, it's their decision to make with their life, right? So you need to give them that freedom to be able to make that decision freely and without guilt or judgment. And in the same way I'm saying I want a space where I can fully be who I want to be, I want my friends to also have that space in me to fully be who they are, even if the decisions that they make are not decisions that I would necessarily make. And I recruit. I'm a recruiter for hater. Like, if I hate avocado, let's hate avocado. Like, what do you mean you like avocado? I mean, I like avocado, but I'm just making an example. This is purely for example's sake, right? Like, what do you mean you hate avocado? Like, I remember when I was still studying engineering, right? And I was the first one to leave out of the friend group. Also, shout out to the girlies. 2 out of the 5 girlies we started with have graduated. And you know what, guys? We're gonna make it. We gotta make it. But anyways, as I was saying, I had the shock of my life that we were all struggling. I'm gonna just be honest. We were all struggling. But I had the shock of my life that I was the only one that wanted to leave. Why was I the only one that wanted to leave? Because I was just like, if we're all struggling, the logical decision for us, the logical decision for us to make is for us to bounce. Who does that? Right? Me. I do that. Literally me. I do that. And I had to sit down with myself and be like, girl, that is toxic. You can't control people. And that's what, I don't know if you guys remember, I said in my previous episode, like, that's what gives me anxiety with people, that you can't control them. People will do what they want to do. And that scares me, because they will do what they want to do, right? But that's a part of friendship. Like, if I want that space to be who I am, I need to also allow people to have that space. And it's okay if, when you create that space, you guys realize, you know what, like we are just not compatible in terms of friendship. Like we are just two different, we just can't be friends with, you know, the type of people that we are right now. And we are just going in two completely different directions in life. And I don't think that it's, you know, I don't think that it's going to work out for us as friends. Like, I don't think you should be friends with everybody that you meet. But I really do think that the people you have decided on, decide on them, right? The people you have decided on, decide on them. And sometimes it's for a season. Whatever season, if that friend is in your season 1 year, 2 year, 2 months, give your all. Like, I think just intentionally just be the best friend that you can be. And you know, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So it starts with you. As you love yourself, it starts with you, right? So you need to look at yourself and say, am I the type of friend that will attract the type of people that I want in my life, right? And take it from there. Like be who you meant to be, but change and adapt for who you want to be. I don't think that really made sense. But roll with me. Roll with me. Yo, roll with me. But anyways, that being said, I've already obviously been working on that part of my friendships. And something that I would say that, like, I don't want to say, yeah, I'm struggling with it. I'm going to say I'm struggling with it. Something that I definitely struggle with in terms of friendship is keeping in contact. Now, I don't know if you guys remember in the episode where I was talking about, you know, the the loneliness that comes with adulthood. And I spoke about how sometimes your friends are busy, you know. I think something that I'm struggling with right now is striking the balance between pushing and, you know, striving and working towards my career, but also making the time to, you know, hang out with my friends, to call my friends. Like, that's something that I'm so bad at. I'm so bad. I'm those people. I have to literally schedule, like, I have to write it in my to-do list, call said friends. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I struggle with that a lot because I'm just like, I haven't called this person in so long. Like, what am I even gonna say? I'm so embarrassed. Like, it embarrasses me. I really wish I was better at it. Like, it embarrasses me because I'm just like, why am I such a bad friend? I literally can't even respond to a text message. I literally, like, don't call. It's so hard for me to check in and do all those things. And that's one aspect that I really want to work on. But it's very hard for me to, like, strike that balance of, like, I'm this career woman, especially because, like, i'm working I'm working, I'm trying to push my passion of YouTube, content creation in general. And also, I'm still in school, and I'm probably going to be in school again because I have decided to do my honors. So it's just like very hard for me to strike that balance of still making time. And for the most part, like, most of my friends understand, but it's like in those days where, like, now I do have the time to, like, talk to my friends and call them and, you know, send them messages and check in and whatever. I'm embarrassed because it's like I've been so away and I've been so taken by, you know, what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to do, that it's very hard. It's very hard for me to go back and be like, hi, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Because not because of them, but because of me. Like, I feel I'm embarrassed and I feel like I know I could be a better friend and I'm not showing up to the party. So yeah. Yeah, I just want to be a better friend in general. And I really, really appreciate my friendships. Like, they have been there. Like, obviously, they're still there. I'm still in my hungry stage of creative, you know. They are riding with me in my hungry stage of creative. They support me. They come onto my shows, not knowing what they're coming onto my shows for. They help me shoot, when self-doubt creeps in, they speak life over me. They remind me the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. They love on me. They care about me. They support my work. They share my work. Like, I really appreciate my friends, and I really feel like if there's one thing that I really succeeded at doing was building a community for myself. If you remember in season 1, I was definitely talking about how I want to build community. I want to have friends, and I definitely did build that for myself, and I love them so much. Love you guys loads. I know they're definitely listening. Well, most of them. Some of them listen very later on. Like this podcast, they're probably gonna say, "Oh, girl, I love you too," in 2 months. But because they're busy, I get it. So I just love you guys so, so much, and I appreciate the love and support and your patience with me. As you know, I'm trying to make it. It's very hard to try to make it. And you guys are there for me. You catch my tears. You love me. You hug me. I really appreciate you guys, and I love you guys so, so much. And you guys literally make life worth living. Like, you guys know that TikTok that says, I suddenly don't want to kill myself. Like, you guys literally like make life worth living. Like, you guys are the reminder that, God is real and he cares because of how much you guys love me and because of how much you guys care for me. So I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yeah, so basically that is it from me. I think this was a short episode, but a very meaningful one. Like, really evaluate, if you're those people that, you're not really building the type of relationships that you want to build, and all your relationships maybe are shallow and surface level. They never really go deep, and you can't really call anybody in a time of need or whatever. Really start evaluating yourself. Like, what areas can you change in yourself that will create that space in your life for you to be able to have those spaces where you can, be deep, and you can actually be who you want, and you can actually have the relationships that you want to have. Yeah, these are growing pains. It's not easy taking a look at yourself and make that change. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. It's hard to take a look at yourself, and it's very hard to take a look at yourself, because you can take a look at yourself and notice your issues and where you're going wrong. But it's even harder to make that change, especially when you've gotten used to, living a certain way and making certain decisions. Whatever. That is it from me today. There will not be an episode next week. You can blame that on ESCOM. The plan was to bulk shoot for the rest of December, but with the way load shedding is set up, I literally cannot do that. I'm also just one person. I have to go edit for my other shows. So because I really want to maintain the show being visual as well, there will be no episode next week. But next week and at the week thereafter. But in January we will be back. The second week of January, we will continue with the rest of the season. So the second week of January, we'll continue with episode 7 until episode 10. Episode 10 will be the last episode of the season, and then I'm going to, premiere my show that I've been working on. That's on menstrual cycle. So I really hope you guys are around for that. But let me know if you guys enjoyed this episode, before we take the break for the season. Let me know, what was your favorite episode so far? We are at episode 6, so there's a lot to cover. There's a lot that you can tell me you've learned. So let me know what you have learned and how you have grown through talking about this, and how you've looked at your own life from my stories and be like, what, actually, here are some places I can do better. Here are some places I wish to do better. Yeah. But if you want to just talk about today's episode specifically, you can talk about the type of friendships that you want and what you are personally doing to create space for those friendships and relationships in your life. Thank you so much, guys. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have written down your New Year's resolutions, because they are not just going to pop up on the 1st of January. I hope you guys were actually supposed to spend the whole year just thinking about what you want to achieve in the next year. So that, be intentional about your life. It's your life, you're living it. Nobody else is going to live it for you. Nobody else is going to decide for you. You need to be intentional about what you're doing and where you're trying to go relationally, with your relationship with God, every single aspect of your life, your career, etc. So I love you guys, but Jesus loves you more, because I wouldn't die for you. My love is heavily conditional, but Jesus is unconditional. So thank you so much.